hair was just on one today and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Y'all just gonna have to see me look like a monchichi for a second, okay? So today I have y'all's favorite, which is story time. So get your wine, get your snacks, girl, because we're about to have ourselves a messy ass inappropriate story time as per usual. Today my drink of choice is champagne, girl, because we fancy like that. One of my future sister-in-laws brought this over as a housewarming gift. Thank you, babe. Now I'm sure that you guys clicked on this video not only to judge me, but to probably like judge my family as well. But just hold on, wait a second, give me a minute and listen to my story before y'all start trying to judge somebody, okay? To be real with you guys, this story, it's something honestly that happened that I just like pushed to the back of my brain. I don't know why. I've never really talked about it. I've never really told anybody. It just like happened. It was what it was, and then we moved on. I'm sure that you guys are like, okay, what you mean? Like it just happened, like you were 10. I know. But just hear me out, listen to the story, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we get into this story time, as per usual, today's glamour shot is actually one of my Glamazons, and I don't know her name. She does go by AK Chica 907 on Instagram if y'all want to go follow her. But girl, you are serving me face right here and at work, okay? I remember taking them selfies when I was like feeling myself. You killing it at work. Thank you so much for sending me your gorgeous glamour shot. I wish I knew your name, but thank you so much for all of your love and all of your support. You guys know that I would not be here without you, and I could not do this without each and every one of you guys. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Now let's get into this ratchet story time. Alright, so we are going to jump right into this story. So this story takes place when I was about 10 years old, and I remember this because it was like a few years before I moved here to Denver. I was 10 years old, and I have an aunt, and we will name her, so we will name my Aunt Nancy, alright? So I have an aunt, her name is Nancy, and she's my mom's little sister. My aunt was always really, really cool, and I have two aunts, but one of them is way cooler than the other. And this aunt was like the tightest aunt, okay? Like she would take me to like Disneyland. She took me on all of my vacations when I was a kid. Like she was like my older sister. She was so much fun. We did arts and crafts together. She taught me a lot. And she's just funny, and she is actually the person where I got my peace out thing from. She and I, that's how we say bye to each other. We're like, peace out, like that's just how we always talk. So it's actually thanks to my aunt that I say like peace out. That's one of my slogans, because that's like for real what we say to each other all the time. One day came around and we planned to go like as a family to this lowrider show. Okay, I know, super classy, right? You know, they have like the whole convention center booked out, and they bring in all of these tricked out cars, and then you have artists coming and bands and food vendors, and it's just like this big thing, right? I talked about this car show that was coming into town and when it was going to start, and got a hold of my other aunt Julie, who is the mother of my cousin, the one that shit in the vase. We made these plans, and my aunt like got us all ready or whatever, and we took off to go to this car show, right? So we get there, and it's super hot as fuck outside. I remember that, like it's so hot. Like girl, that Texas heat don't play. Like sometimes people be coming at me like, ooh, I'm thinking about moving to Texas. Like girl, like are you trying to die? Because like the weather over there is just so like killer. Humidity mixed with the heat, you just feel like you can't breathe. You feel like you're wet and sticky all the time. My hair was always frizzy. Forget even straightening my hair. I could not do that, okay, because it was just the most. We go to this car show, and so many people are there, okay? Now you got them cholas, you know the cholas that show up at the car shows to be laying on the car with their little bikini like it was like one of them type of events, okay? It was not classy at all whatsoever. We decided to go to this car show, and you know the car shows in Dallas are usually really big. To be real with y'all, anything in Texas is just like over the top. It's huge. Our state fair is huge. Our Six Flags is huge. That's why everybody says everything is bigger in Texas, okay? Because they don't play over there. So we decided to wait in the parking lot for my other aunt to show up with my cousin, because once you go inside, girl, you ain't gonna find nobody. Like there are just too many people, it's too big. My cousin honestly really was like my brother. It was always my brother, myself, and my cousin, and we were like the three musketeers. We were always the closest cousins. And so the minute I saw my cousin, I got like so hyped, and we were so excited, like this was our shit. This event actually took place outside of a big convention center. So like all all of the outside had like a bunch of booths, and then you could go inside and come back out and go back in, and like it was just so much, right? Part of the inside was like the big warehouse looking thing with like all the lights and like the cars up on the pedestal, some of them turn, and like different lights and information about the cars, and the car owners are out there talking to people, and like the models are out there modeling on the car. Y'all know. You guys, my little fat ass was there for the food. The food in Texas, you guys. Oh, I would give anything to either have like some Brahms or some Whataburger. Girl, yes. And so we start making our rounds going to the different cars, right? Now, some of the cars are like so expensive that they don't let you touch them or sit in them. And then some of them that are like lower tier, you can sit in them and take pictures by them and stuff. To be real with you guys, this wasn't really like a G-rated event, but I feel like back then, I just feel like people weren't as sheltered as they are now. At least we weren't, because there were like a lot of kids there. There were a lot of kids our age there, but like looking back nowadays, it wouldn't be seen as appropriate. That event should have been 18 and up, but it wasn't. So they had a bunch of booths. You were allowed to drink alcohol, so you could buy alcohol. People were drinking beer and shit. You already know this shit's about to get ratchet, because when you mix alcohol and heat and ratchet people all together, girl, it's about to be crazy. Fast forward, I want to say about 2-3 hours, and you guys, we're just walking and walking and walking, and it's just like never ending. And like I said, over there in Texas, everything is so fucking huge. I have been to the Six Flags over Texas so many times in my life, and I can tell you right now, there has never been a time that I've been able to go through that entire park in one day. That is how big it is, okay? Our Texas State Fair, don't even get me started. So this shit wasn't any different. It was just huge. You had so many cars, so many vendors, so much food, so many people, and so like it just seemed to be taking forever. My aunt is trying to make sure that we see everything, okay? So like we're going like row by row by row by row, not missing a damn thing, because she was like, excuse me, I paid for this event, like y'all gonna enjoy this shit. At this point, so many people were already getting drunk, and like, you know, hours are passing, people are just drinking more and more. Texas is honestly where I saw most of the fights ever in my life. That is somewhere you don't want to be if like you got a smart mouth, because like people like don't play over there. Like people do not play. Like the minute that you express that you have a problem, bitch, you better be ready to fight. I've seen like people pull off onto the side because they have road rage, and they get out the car and start fighting. There were like people like getting hype and like dudes talking shit to each other at this convention, and the minute my tia started hearing that kind of stuff, she was like, we need to like move, we need to go somewhere else. So I was getting tired, I was getting too hot, people are like getting a little bit too rowdy. So I asked my tia, can we go inside for a little bit and just like take a break? We've been out here for hours. My brother and my cousin went off by themselves as per usual, because they were the boys, and the only time they wanted to hang out with me was when they're bored. So they like went off on their own with my other aunt. So it was just me and my aunt Nancy, right? Now, like any other convention center, there is also like a main portion that's like a big ass room for conventions, obviously, or any type of event that you can rent out the convention center for. So they have like this huge space, right? We walked inside of the convention center. I would say there was probably like a good 50 to 100 people. That sounds like a lot, but inside of the convention center with people spread out, it really wasn't a whole lot of people, okay? Nothing was really happening. People were just like browsing by the vendors, and then that was it. But they had the AC blowing, so like my aunt and I were like, yes, girl. So we go into the convention center, and we're just like minding our own business, and we make our way into like the main stadium area with all of the seats. We're one of very few groups that are in this convention center. Nobody is in there, you guys. It's like dead, and people are just like kind of chilling in there. You can tell that there were other people that figured it out and like wanted AC, so like everybody's just minding their own business, and it's so quiet in there. We stayed in the convention center and we just like talked, okay? Now fast forward about another hour, like legit my aunt and I stayed in these chairs for like about an hour. Like she was my homie, okay? My home skillet biscuit. We're just like chilling, and then all of a sudden the lights go on inside of the convention center, like all of like the colored party lights, and then there's like a band making their way on the stage that's in the middle of the convention center. So obviously they set everything up for performances, right? It's super normal that artists, bands, and like any other like musicians come out and they perform at these conventions. It's a great way to network and showcase your talent, right? So they had like a lineup of people, I guess, that they had scheduled to perform that day. So the first band came up and like I started getting excited because I was like, yes, like finally there's something to entertain my aunt and I that we're gonna enjoy, right? And people gradually started coming inside of the actual convention center. So the first act goes up and they play, I want to say like 2 or 3 songs. And then they get off the stage. And then another band comes on the stage. And so my aunt and I are like, yes, so like we're getting free shows basically. We didn't know any of this was gonna happen. We didn't know who the lineup was. We didn't know who was performing. We didn't know anything. We were just like there, just chilling, just there for it. Okay, like whatever y'all got planned, we are here for it. So like bring it on, right? And it was really, really cool. Meanwhile, people are starting to file inside. And I start noticing, it's just like a little thing that I noticed, but I noticed it nonetheless, that there was nothing but women inside of this convention center. Like, where's the mans? Like, it was nothing but women with like a few men sprinkled in the audience, but like mostly it was women. I just thought it was a coincidence. I just thought, you know, us women don't be playing that shit. We don't just be like letting our shit be sweating outside. Like we're smart enough to come inside. So like I just kind of wrote it off as we have more common sense. I also noticed that these women were dressed up like they were going to the damn club. Okay, like I'm talking like low cut shirts and shit, like little booty shorts, little skirts. This was already a very sexualized environment if you ask me, because like, you know, a lot of like the car show models, everything is based off of sex. So like these girls were dressed real sexy, okay? More and more the convention center just got louder and louder, and you can just hear people talking and laughing and taking pictures with their disposable cameras back in the day. So I started feeling really excited because like why else would all of these people be coming into this convention center unless someone of importance or a really great artist is about to come onto the stage and we got center seats, okay? I'm talking about our seats, you guys, was literally dead center with the stage. We had some good ass seats. So I was like, yes, bitch. My aunt and I like try to pretend like we already knew what was up, like we knew the tea, and we really didn't. We were just like, oh my god, like it's so great, like it's so fun, and we have AC and we're gonna see like this performance. Yeah. We sit there and my aunt and I are just like minding our own business, sipping on our drinks and stuff and just talking, and like I said, like it's starting to get so packed. Like it started feeling like a damn stadium at this point. That's how many people were there. I would say about 85% of the audience were women. Like that's how many fucking women were in this convention center, okay? I just need y'all to like pay attention to that because that should have been red flag number 1000, okay? At this point, like so many people were on and off the stage. We're not even paying attention to who is going on the stage anymore. We're just like listening for new music. We're listening for the next song to start. And out of nowhere, you guys, the entire crowd goes buck ass wild. Yes, girl! Oh, girl! Yes, girl! Like everybody was just screaming and yelling and cheering and clapping. Who in the hell is here? What is it? Justin Timberlake? Like who is here? Some celebrity was coming on the stage because you guys, it sounded like a damn Super Bowl football game up in there, okay? It was like, and it was nothing but women screaming. We looked towards the stage immediately and all we see are these like random looking guys, but it's a lot of them, like a shit ton of them, okay? And it's just men. It's just a bunch of guys. And I would say it was like literally, you guys, between 20 and 30 men. I want to say they had on like sweatpants, and then they had on like a muscle shirt. It was very, very simple. And they're all walking onto the stage, right? My aunt and I are like, now all of our attention is on the stage because I'm under the impression like, ooh, these are dancers. Like, ooh, they're gonna hit me with that hip. They're gonna hit me. The Jabberwockies, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where my mind went. I'm only 10 years old. So I'm like, oh my God, like they're gonna perform. Yes, girl. And you know, I was still a little girl, but like I had crushes and shit, so I was like, oh my God, like a bunch of guys dancing, yes, you know what I'm saying? I just think about it and start laughing. Everybody's just going wild, so I feel like, oh my God, there's a reason why everybody's going wild, like they must be amazing, right? Music starts, and like they lower the lights, and like there's like a bunch of colorful lights on the stage, and these guys start dancing, and they do, they have like a choreographed dance, girl, like they're getting it, right? These guys, I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty built, so obviously, like, you know, this is what they did for a living. So they're all like so crisp and they're so good, and they're just hitting them moves, girl, fucking up your whole life. They are taking up the entire stage. That is how many of them there were. So they're dancing and they're doing their shit, and I'm like so in there, I'm like, hey, you know, because like I'm like all about that shit, right? My aunt was only 32 years old at the time, okay? So she was like barely in her 30s. My aunt was still very, very young. So I remember my aunt being like, hey, like she was having so much fun too. And so my aunt was like, hey, you better get it, you better get it, you know? And so she's enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, everybody's enjoying it, like everything's all good. The lights went down all of a sudden. They dimmed. They didn't go off, they just dimmed, right? So they dimmed down and then music started again. And then like wait about 10 seconds and bam, the lights came back up, right? So when the lights went down, all of the guys repositioned themselves, right? Lights came back up and like came back full force. All of these guys, all 20 to 30 of them, are standing with their back towards the crowd in a complete line across the stage, okay? And they're standing there, and so you could tell they're getting ready to like blow your fucking mind. When anybody who can dance starts with their back towards you, girl, they're about to blow your mind, okay? They're about to turn around and just fucking kill it. So they're all in a line, you guys, just back towards us, all in a line. The lights come back on and music starts playing. And so we're like, ah! And the minute the light goes on, everybody starts screaming and they start dancing like they're doing something very, very simple on beat together, and it looks super, super cool. They all do this and they all take off their muscle shirt, and so all of the women are ready to have these men's babies, okay? Like they all go absolutely insane. So all of a sudden I hear my aunt being the cool ass person that she is, she was like, ah! And like she like started losing her shit too. Now, to be honest, you know, when a guy takes off their shirt, it's not really that big of a deal. Like it's so different if a girl takes off her shirt. My aunt didn't really feel like it was that big of an issue. Like guys just took off their shirt, like whatever. So then they turn around and they're dancing now with no shirt on. So they're like dancing, they're doing their thing, and like I said, these guys are like really well built. So like everybody's losing their mind. And this is the first time I'm like, damn, like, you know, like they're all on stage, they're all dancing. My aunt's having a good ass time, and I'm like, okay, like, I mean, I guess I could get with it, right? So they're like sitting there dancing, and all of a sudden, like, it's like strobe lights. It's like on, off, right? And it's like, it looks like a legitimate fucking club, okay? And on, off. All of the lights are just blinking on and off, on and off. You guys know that when you see strobe lights, it really messes with your vision and what's happening. Like, it makes you look like you're moving like this, right? And so that's what it seemed like. They were just like kind of like moving very weird because of the strobe lights. And then all of a sudden, everything just goes dark. And the music is still playing. And the minute it goes dark, all of the women just start losing their mind again. And it goes dark for about 5 seconds. These men, while the lights were off, during the strobe light thing, the minute the light went off for those like 5-10 seconds, these men took off their sweats. They took off their sweats and there was nothing there. It was just dun-dun. And these dudes started literally dancing and their shit is just bouncing around everywhere, and they're still all in the line. So my 10-year-old ass is literally seeing 20 to 30 dicks all at one time, just bouncing around, and they're like literally flailing them around like this, okay? Like doing one of these and like doing one of these and just making it just it was one of those things where I was like, ah! And like I knew I wasn't supposed to see it, but like it was one of those things that you can't look away from, and I was like, oh, my aunt was sitting there cheering in the dark. The minute the lights went up, she went from ow! And she like went to go cover my eyes, and I was like, I already seen it, I already seen it, all of them, I already seen it. My aunt got up so fast, and she grabs me by the wrist, and we run out. But like I said, it was too late. By the time my aunt reacted, I had already seen everything. Before y'all go on this tangent judging my aunt, remember, this was like back in like 2002, okay? Things were very different. Things were not as sheltered and as protected as they are now. And they didn't really have like age restrictions. I don't even think anybody knew that I was in there. My aunt just genuinely had no idea. My aunt's not just like negligent taking me into some nasty shit like that. didn't know. Like, who would have thought? Myself, I was there. My cousin's only 2 years older than me, so that means he was 12. There were other kids there, right? So like, it just happened, girl. So I ended up seeing like legit 30 dicks. So much pee-pee. Like, so much pee-pee. So don't be judging my aunt. It was a complete fucking accident. So when we left the car show, my aunt was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry you had to see that. Please don't tell your mom. And so my mom is my aunt's older sister. So my aunt was like, oh no, like, please don't tell your mom. Like, that was such an accident. I'm so sorry. I don't know if my aunt ever told my mom. My aunt just felt terrible. And like, she was like, oh my god, like, I traumatized you. And I was like, girl, you didn't traumatize me. I didn't know how else to title this video. I can't just say the time I saw 30 dicks, because then people are just gonna think I got problems. It wasn't like a true strip club, but there were strippers there, and I saw everything. Like, I'm telling you guys, from head to toe, like, these men were naked, like, just like everything out, like, not even like a slab of fabric, like none. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that again in my life, and I'm grown as fuck now, and I still ain't never seen nothing like that again in my life. I'm good. So that is it for today's story time, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it hilarious as much as I did, because I saw 30 peepees, girl. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to let me know by giving me a huge thumbs up, and also share it with your friends and family who you think might enjoy it. If you are not subscribed to my channel and you like story times like this one, please don't forget to hit that huge subscribe button, and while you're down there, please don't forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified of each time I upload a video here on my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another story time. I will see you guys in my next video. Don't be looking at peepees. Peace out.